Friends, hello, how are you doing? Let's go right into some conversation here with the stock market. It is day 3 of heavy battling the market right now with emotions. People are looking for someone to blame, and obviously there's things going on in the market right now. The whole tariff situation is really, it has affected the market now more than ever. Stuff from last week, compounding on top of new news. Everything. So here we are. It's Tuesday, and we're about to enter into the middle ground of where things could shift in the market. Okay, for really good or really bad. Now, good. I don't know that I don't think we're going to gain back everything we've lost so far by Friday, but there are things happening here this week that could dramatically change the market from where it's at. So this is why I was yapping Friday, Monday, today, Tuesday, that listen, this is a buying market at this moment, okay? This could change. This could change dramatically. So let's go into it. And before I get started, I just want to say one thing so you know, we've been talking about super microcomputer here at the 11th. I actually had to change all this because I made a whole thing about this, how they didn't report, but microcomputer has reported. They have come out with the filing that they needed. So as of right now, they are in the green and they are going to stay listed right now. So everything is safe as we know it. And of course, do a later video to clear all this up. They're going to come out with more. But with that, the stock just shot up dramatically because it looked like it was headed for $30 and to be delisted here. But now it has been saved. They have come through here. So thank God for people that were sitting in that. So two, with that, AI stocks. I mean, listen, we've had sell-off in the market here, but it's almost like, if you're new to the market right now, here's what you kind of need to know and understand here. So everything that we've kind of lost here, it's what we've kind of made here in the past 4 weeks. So I think for a lot of us here, it's not that big of a deal, if that makes sense. Palantir has sold off 30% at this point, but Palantir is essentially where it was just weeks ago before their last Q4 came out, back at this $80 position. So it's not that big of a deal. I think many people are still in a profit zone. And if you're bag holding, I don't think I would panic sell whatsoever. I would just continue to eat that position down there a little bit. So, but you've got Microsoft, you got Apple, Nvidia still holding very, very good positions. Broadcom still they've sold off, but still very, very much in a very strong position there. And a lot of this, yes, is from the Trump tariff stuff. The market is reacting to that pretty heavily. Uncertainty, there's things coming this week, and and here's the things that we'll start to break down this week. So tomorrow is I think tomorrow probably more than likely what will happen before the Nvidia earnings come out, because the earnings for Nvidia will come out after market close here. Now with that, what I expect is that tomorrow the market will kind of just settle a little bit, unless something drastic comes out that we're not expecting, which I don't know that anything is to be released tomorrow. Nvidia is the big news tomorrow. That is what everyone's waiting for. So I suspect that stocks will I don't think they'll rebound by any means, but they'll just kind of they'll sit where they're at, okay? Maybe not take as any more damage, essentially what I'm saying here. Because tomorrow, the market, we've seen this time and time again here. Nvidia has shifted the market 100%. They have shifted the culture, the market, everything. People's fear, greed, everything. I mean, you were talking about a stock that almost controlled 2024 in the market. So once again, I dare say that could continue to happen here in 2025. And tomorrow is going to be pretty much a dead giveaway of where Nvidia is headed. So, we're sitting at the blackjack table right now, and we're just, everyone's taking a gamble of where Nvidia is going to be here. There's analysts saying they're just going to hit 2% over. They're going to hit what they expect. And a lot of times what we've seen constantly here with Nvidia, they have been on a constant streak of well beating expectation of what they're expected. So this could just be a continuation of Nvidia just made another, maybe they hit 40 billion for this quarterly. That would be freaking insane. So if that were to happen, this could trigger by, late tomorrow after market close. This could trigger the market really starting to find life again, where a pulse will be made here. So with that, the next day, then we've got other reports coming out, inflation, all that stuff. Where we're going to be, what are we talking about with, rate cuts, all that kind of stuff. So that too will do some stuff to the market. Now, as long as that is all good, the market might have a bigger pulse. And then Friday, that's when we start having inflation talk, all that kind of, what's going on there. So the market could shift here. The market could shift. So this is why, this is why it's so important to make your move, okay? Because I was literally just having this conversation with someone today. I had somebody text me and saying, like, should I buy now or should I just wait for the market to fall apart more? I was like, listen, the market has taken a pretty big nosedive, and even still, a lot of things are still at big highs. I mean, the S&P 500 is still very high. I mean, like, this is a collapse. This isn't even a collapse. This is a loss, what we've lost here, but it's not like an economical tragedy, okay? Like, this is just stuff like we lost a month, okay? But we could get it back pretty fast here. So obviously a lot of that depends on this week, what we're about to run into here, okay? And the market still now is showing fear with these tariffs. So we're going to see how this continues to play out. But obviously too, everything has come to a head here with the tariffs this week, what's happening here. So the first big thing tomorrow is Nvidia. What is Nvidia going to release? Are they going to shock the world again and just continue to raise their earnings, which is absolutely possible that they did that because they have their new Blackwell chip. There's no reason they can't. I mean, they could still do it. Even if they come 2% over what they're expected, they've still done well. They've still made a ton of money. So it's still showing that this year, Nvidia has the potential to beat every expectation at this point, which will continue to, drive AI, chips, everything, and it will do well for the market. So this is very important. Tomorrow's a very big day. Okay, 100%. Now with that too, Palantir is in this 80, like we're back where we started 4 weeks ago. Palantir, right before quarterlies came out to show their biggest quarterly ever here to wrap up 2024, we were at this price. We were around this $87 price on a good day. And now, we're back there. So what happened, 4 weeks ago, quarterlies came out with Palantir, big quarterlies. Then, gradually we shot up to almost $130 here. Now, just days later, we're back to $80. So huge climb, huge momentum, huge profit people took it at that point. And now we're just like, we're back where we were 4 weeks ago. Okay, big deal. I think a lot of people are still in profit range. But one thing that we learned with that situation with Palantir is that if people are willing to buy Palantir at, 80, and people never even got a chance to buy Palantir at $90, before Palantir shot up to $105 with that quarterly coming out. People are willing to buy Palantir at over $100. Okay, so that's a very interesting thought process right there, that people are saying like, okay, and that's a lot of volume. That's a lot of shares being bought up over $100. So that tells me that's a dead giveaway that we're going to get back to 90, 100, 105, 110, 15, 20. It'll come back here gradually. We're going to get there, okay? There's a lot that's going to happen here in the next 2 weeks. This week especially, then we're going into March here. We've got State of the Union talk coming here. God knows what else the Trump administration will release. What are they going to say? Who knows? Good, bad? I don't know. We'll watch here. But, Palantir is back at this, high that we were at 4 weeks ago. So, yeah, we're going to see where it lands here. I still think that Palantir is, I still think it's the investment of a century, of a lifetime, essentially what I'm trying to say. I think it's something everyone should have in their portfolio. I think people are going to make huge mistakes with this stock that have sold out and said, I think it's going, because I saw this, I've seen it all week where people are saying that Palantir is going back to 30, 20 bucks. And I'm like, I have no freaking idea what you're talking about. You were talking about a company that is about to, start talking about $1 billion quarterlies. Now, obviously, that's baby money when we're just talking about Nvidia, but Palantir, from a company that 22 months ago was $7, not making anywhere that kind of money, and now in the pocket of the government, and right in the White House, Alex Karp, Elon Musk, rubbing shoulders. This is a dead giveaway that this stock is going to continue into high valuation and be in $1 trillion market cap just, sometime here in the future. I don't know how much more, evidence people need with Palantir here. It's a solid investment into the future, okay? And that's too, like, if Palantir even comes out with like say a random quarterly this year, maybe like Q2, Q3 in the middle of the year, they come out with a quarterly that's not as strong. Maybe they just meet expectations. I still think Palantir is going to run. Okay, because I do think that we're going to see, I think we are seeing already huge amounts of information that clues here that AI is going to control the market again this year, and with that, I think Palantir is going to have a very similar run to what Oracle did in 2023 and especially 2024 here, more than not that year. So we've already seen, in a sense, Palantir's already done more when it comes to running. We just had this huge setback. If you look at it, so I think people are going to be begging and wishing that they had moved on Palantir right now. And listen, this could change. If we start to see this market turn around here, and by Friday, we've gotten all these good candles. Nvidia released great quarterlies. All this Thursday, Friday, these reports that are coming out, if they're good, somewhat good, just good enough to not sink the market more and give it a pulse back to life, Palantir is going to be back up in $90-$100 range here before we know it. Absolutely. So, like I said, I think tomorrow is just going to be a pulsating day where it's just like, everyone's just waiting around. No one wants to do anything crazy, even more drastic. It's just going to be a day of waiting around for these, for Nvidia. That's essentially what it's going to be. In Big Bear, Big Bear is one of those things where, well, here you go, friends. Like I said this last night. I don't want to talk over it too much, but, Big Bear had these nice 2 contracts so far in this year, new CEO. And the major comment that I saw with Big Bear, the past 2 weeks is like people saying, man, I wish I would have bought Big Bear when it was $5, $6, $4. Well, here you go, friends. Here it is. Listen, Big Bear is still a chance. It's still a wild card. It's still a situation where it's not safe 100% whatsoever. I've never said it was. It is a risky play right now, and you have to understand that. But if you like taking risks, you like taking a shot at something, you got money to you're like, I'm just, whatever happens, happens. Big Bear might be for you, okay? The past 2 weeks, we had a tremendous thing happen in Big Bear out of nowhere. Big Bear got 2 nice government contracts. Big Bear ran to almost $11. It went from a $3 stock to almost $11 stock in a matter of days. People made insane money, and we made insane money. And I think most people sold out, and now they're regrouping. I know a lot of you commented today and say you bought back in. I saw that on comments on StockTwits, Webull, anywhere Reddit where people were talking. I know people, so this $5, what I mean by that, this $5 position that we've seen right here collect itself together, this might hold here, but I think, even my greedier side right now, I go like, I wouldn't mind to see Big Bear take a little more damage for a moment here. I wouldn't mind to see Big Bear go to around 480. I definitely think that's possible, especially if this week continues to do what it does and we don't see good news. But I think like most things, Big Bear is gonna it's going to rebound in this area from anywhere from a high $4 range to a $6 range. I think this is going to be the safe zone for Big Bear here until we get some more news, and obviously, just 2 weeks from now, Big Bear will be releasing their quarterlies. And with that, I don't think those quarterlies are going to be that great because they're not quarterlies that I really care about. The quarterlies that I care about and I want to see with Big Bear here, like Q1 of this year, Q2 of this year, those are the quarterlies I'm interested in right now with Big Bear. So listen, Big Bear's this is a long play. This is not a patient play. If you don't have patience, this is not for you. Now I do think there's plenty of moves here in Big Bear. I think Big Bear is going to be a very volatile stock. So what does that mean? That means it's going to leave a lot of opportunity for people to make money, where one day it might be $4.80 and the next day it might be $5.80. So that's, a dollar, profit right there, especially with how much capital you're able to put in this. So, yeah, friends, I'm watching Big Bear like a hawk here. I mean, it is my biggest wild card of 2025 here. And honestly, in SoFi, I think SoFi is the best deal on the market right now. I think this is the number one stock that people need to really think about buying. Listen, I get it. I think SoFi is, and I've said this before, SoFi is in this place where to me, SoFi is really cool. It's really interesting. I nerd out over it. I love it. But SoFi, I get that SoFi is not this cool, hip AI stock and, interesting, sexy and all this stuff. And it's just not. And that's okay. But as a solid investment, a solid play into your future, a solid company stock that could really have high, big potential here into the next, handful of years. Friends, as boring as you may think SoFi is, I really think you should really consider adding to SoFi, making a position in SoFi. We've had nothing but good news here with SoFi, and I think SoFi's next quarterly here is really going to shock people that it's going to be even bigger with what they're doing here. So, I think it's the best deal out there right now. I really do. For long-term longevity, I think it's one of the best stocks you can be a part of right now. Listen, SoFi it's in the range this year to start producing $1 billion quarterlies. Okay, I mean, look at what SoFi is making and look at what Palantir is making. Have you looked at that? That'll really make you think about things. Okay, and obviously a lot of why you're buying SoFi or Palantir at $80 is because of expectation of what is coming over the next, essentially at this point, years. And SoFi is a little more realistic. SoFi is struggling to keep $15. SoFi, for the first time in a long time now, is at a low compared to where it's been. But a lot of us have been buying SoFi since it's been $4, $5, $6, $7, $8. And, I remember when SoFi was $8 and we were like, holy freaking crap, SoFi is $8. It took a lot to get to $8, $9 with SoFi. And it was like such a huge win when SoFi went to those prices. And this is when SoFi was like killing it with quarterlies, but it was still not getting the attention it needed. Now SoFi is, it's got a lot more attention. It's got a lot more, for investors to see here. But I still think, sadly, SoFi is just in this zone where investors get bored with it and they want faster growing stock. Listen, AI stocks are hot right now. They're growing. Even AI stocks that aren't even making they don't have a pot to piss in, essentially. They're not making money. They're in debt. You can make more money off them. Look at Big Bear. And that's not me being mean towards Big Bear. I love Big Bear. I've got money in Bear. I'm relying on Big Bear to have a better year here. I'm not looking for Big Bear to make me a millionaire this year. I'm looking for Big Bear just to at least end the year with more deals, debt paid off, more of a CEO that talks to the investors, the customers, the people. Ends the year at a $7 to maybe $8 position. It'd be amazing. That'd be freaking amazing. That's what I'm looking at for Big Bear. But SoFi here, this essentially you could have made more money with Big Bear here in the past few weeks than SoFi. I get it. SoFi is in this situation where you've got to think about where SoFi could be years down the road. Could SoFi have a stock split? Could SoFi really get expensive here into later in this year, next year? How many more rate cuts? Are we going to have 2 rate? And listen, that's the thing too. When it gets said here that we are doing the next rate cut, the banks are going to do well. SoFi is going to do well. And these are things to just think about into the future, okay? In a situation where, stock split with SoFi, dividends into the future, imagine if you could just build up a lot of capital right now in SoFi, start building up a lot of shares, okay? Imagine where that could lead you in the future with SoFi. It's a nice thing to think about. It really is. So friends, I am going to shut up, and I wish all of you the best of luck. I really do mean that, friends. Listen, we're all in this together. The hardest thing that most people struggle with in the market is patience. It's allowing your portfolio to shift up and down. And listen, what you're doing is you're building positions and things right now, okay? So, there's a lot of people that they're still in massive profit zone with Palantir, okay? They're like, I'm great. There's still people that are in massive profit range with Big Bear, either because they sold out at 11 or they held at $1, $2, $3, $4. There's people that are still in massive profit zone with SoFi, okay? Why do I say this? I say this because this moment right here that we find ourselves in as investors, this is when you take X amount of money that you've set aside and you do something with it, okay? You make that money change the outcome of your life, okay? So I implore you, friends, do not let this market scare you, okay? Even if we take more damage, more fear comes here, it will not shake my boots out of this market. I will hold my positions. If anything, I will just shift money into ETFs and continue to buy stocks or buy ETFs with heavy dividends, okay? I'm always looking for new companies, new stocks to get into. And I love these bloodbath days in the markets. I love them. I love drama in the market, okay? Because it leaves opportunity. I'm going to be honest with you. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I got a screw loose. But days when everything's green and it's rolling and we're making tons of money, I go, ugh, boring. Because I don't want to buy anything that's high. I love buying things in the market. Now, obviously, when you're buying things, this is what I'm saying. You start to build positions early. You get into things early. You get into things in the right time. And then you get so low into that position as it grows. Days like this, you're like, ugh, big deal. I'm still in profit zone. While your buddy over here who sells out of everything and can't hold anything, he's like freaking out and saying like, I can't believe this market. And you're like, I'm doing really good actually. Like I was buying Palantir last year. He's like, what do you mean you're buying Palantir last year? Do you know there's people, and I'm not making fun of anybody, but think about this. There's people that bought Palantir at $120 days ago. Palantir sold off, and they sold at a loss. That's a sad situation. That breaks my heart. It breaks my heart because people are losing money in the market, okay? And I know if they just would have held out, they'll get that money back plus some. That's a crazy thing to think about. Friends, we are in a moment right now where people are going to look at this moment and be glad they did something. Take care of yourself. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.